banking population, because when they're in the banking population, it's going to open up a lot of business for other fintechs to be able to take advantage of. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Let's appreciate our panelists, Mr. Olumide and Mr. Abayo. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to our moderator and panelists. That was a beautiful session. I hope you're all enjoying this, right? Okay, so actually, I think I remember Mr. Olumide saying something that there are a lot of problems out there. What we have to do is identify the problem, then we create a solution, which means that's a better thing for the society. At the end of the day, you're making money also. I like that part. You know, can you do something for everybody, please? Can we like take a selfie and use our hashtag FiNCON2022, please? I really appreciate that. You can do that within 1 minute. You can just take a selfie, use our hashtag. We need to make people know what is happening yet today. And also, I would appreciate if you all can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ominira TV. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you can actually help us and bring more awareness to our platform. Thank you. So we're moving to our second speech, our speaker for today. Trust me, we think she's about to blow our mind. She's about to make us understand what we need to know about SMEs. She'll be talking to us today on the role of SME in wealth creation, and she knows what she's talking about. Firstly, she's health and education specialist with over 20 years of experience at the University of Ibadan. She is the director of the Central for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, the University of Ibadan. The Central complements the efforts of the government in promoting private sector-led growth as envisioned in national and continental policies and initiatives, such as the National Economic Empowerment and Development Strategy, the New Partnership of African Development, the National Program for the Eradication of Poverty, and the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, UWIN, SDG, Bank of Industry Youth Entrepreneurship Support, the YES program, and the most recent Central Bank Tertiary Institution Entrepreneurship Scheme. I'm talking of no other person than Professor Oyedunni Arulogun. Can we all please put our hands together for her?
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank Ominira Initiative for inviting me. I want to recognize my Oga, my employer. That's what we refer to council members in UI. They are our employers. So, sir, I'm still waiting for my salary. And I want to appreciate everyone for coming for this meeting. I've been asked to talk about the role of small, medium enterprises in wealth creation. And so, well, when Prof was saying he doesn't know why it was him, they asked to come and talk about this topic. And I was wondering who else should have been called based on all that he has shared with us. So I'm standing here afraid to talk because I don't know what I will say and he will overrule from where he's sitting. So we are going to, this is the outline that I intend to follow. wanted to ease them off. So this is the outline. So I've finished with my courtesies. So the next slide. I've finished with this one. So I'm going to try and define SME and wealth creation. Never mind me, because I'm a teacher, we like to define the terms we are working with so that we all are on the same plate. And so, according to Central Bank of Nigeria, most countries have their own definition of SME. But as far as Nigeria is concerned, the CBN defines, I hope all of us on this side can see, defines small and medium enterprises as entities with asset base of 5 million and not more than 500 million naira, excluding land and buildings. Then SMEDAN also gave their own definition. We all know SMEDAN is Small Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, and they also follow the CBN pattern, but then they have a 3-tier definition, and they have the micro enterprises that have less than 10 people working for them, and asset is less than 5 million. Then we have the small enterprises having between 10 and 49 persons working for them, and asset base between 5 million and 50 million. And then the medium enterprises between 50 and 199 million, also excluding land and buildings. So when we talk about small and medium enterprises, it falls into either of these 5 sections. It might be service. Many of us here are in the service provision sector, retailing, construction, manufacturing, or wholesaling. So in other words, when we talk about SMEs, they are organizations which can best be described by their capital, scope, and cost of projects, annual turnover, financial strength, and number of employees, among other things. So what is wealth creation? Wealth creation is the process of investing in different asset classes where the investments will help in fulfilling key needs. And these investments should be self-contained that can generate a stable source of income, helping one to fulfill their aspirations. So wealth creation can also be defined as the process of obtaining and increasing money over time while managing and handling other financial matters like paying off debts. So what it means is that when we talk about wealth creation, it's not a once-for-all process. It is gradual. And that's why Yorubas have something that they say, Ohoshishuda, why, Prof, sir. So you help me translate that. Now, when you hear Yoruba say, Ohoshishuda, why, you know when you put soap, like the foam, the leather, then it dies down. That is not wealth. Wealth will start a little at a time and then grows, and grows. So, as my preamble, why are we talking about SME? Why are we bothered about the role of SME in wealth creation? What do we know? We know that SME would contribute a lot to economic development of any country. We also know that SMEs play a crucial role in addressing the impediments of poverty, inequality, and job creation in rural areas. We know that they are an important source of employment for the less privileged those that we really don't care about, women and all of that. And when we got independence in 1960, Nigeria recognized SMEs as key to our development. And then we had a lot of policies that would encourage SME. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, SMEs contribute 48% of national GDP and account for 96% of businesses and 84% of employment. So these are some of the policies that we have in place in Nigeria to encourage SMEs to function. However, in 1960, we recognized SMEs, and then we went ahead to have policies in place. But where did we end up? When we started in 1960, our SME sectors were working. The agro business was doing very well. Many things were working. But then we moved from that to mono economy. Everything centered on oil, black gold. And one of our former presidents or head of state said, Nigeria has a lot of money. Now our problem is we don't know how to spend it. And so those who were wiser than us helped us to spend the money. And they are still helping us to spend. So because, so you see, 1 barrel of oil, these are the things you are going to get from a barrel of oil. You get diesel, petrol, gas, other products, kerosene, all of that. So it's a real black gold. So we forgot all our SMEs. We forgot agriculture. I remember in primary school, we knew that there was rubber in the midwestern part of Nigeria. And I still remember seeing them cutting the rubber tree and putting the cup that collects the sap. I went to school in the north. I saw groundnut pyramid. When I went back some years to the same place, nothing, no pyramid anymore. They had built houses where those pyramids are because of land gold. And so this is where we are in Nigeria. We left SMEs to suffer. We ran to black gold, and this is where we are. We are in a situation that I usually refer to as a situation of the boiling frog. This is where Nigeria is. What is this situation? You know, if the water was boiling and you put a frog or anything in the water, what will happen? You jump out. But this situation is where the water was very cold and comforting. So all of us we were enjoying the oil boom, and we were all sitting down there. Gradually, the people who knew how to spend our money started spending our money for us. And they were increasing the heat gradually. We sat there, adjusting. It's not bad. The situation is a bit shady. No, it's not bad. And I know they say Nigerians have an elasticity that does not snap. Because in other countries, what we call civil war is increase in price of rice. But only God knows how much time bread, rice, yam, everything has increased in Nigeria. But then we amend and say, okay, it's not bad. The day beans became expensive, we said we will eat yam. When yam is in there, so we are going to eat something else. So this is where we are. We keep adjusting. Now what is going to happen eventually? The frog is going to die. Because the frog is still adjusting, we are still adjusting. And that's why we are now saying enough of adjustment. Any same thing, next slide. Now, still in that boiling frog syndrome where we find ourselves, in July this year, this is what the National Bureau of Statistics also told us, that the inflation surged near 17-year high in Nigeria. Recently, US did something to reduce inflation. They cut by 2%. Many rich people lost their money. And I asked myself, can we do it in Nigeria? This morning, Prof had talked about attitude. Are we ready? We are still in the boiling frog scenario. Next time. As at yesterday night, 9:57 p.m., this is the Nigeria's poverty index. We are still in hot water boiling frog syndrome. Nigeria that didn't know what to do with our money. As at yesterday night, over 69 million Nigerians are living below poverty level. And below poverty level means living below $1.90 a day. This was the Naira equivalent. Eh? When I said this somewhere, and people said exchange rate is 600, whatever. I said, okay, for ease of discussion, let's say 600 naira. I saw some of my friends there. The children and ministers, they are still there. What this is saying is that 69 million Nigerians are living below 600 naira a day. Obviously, none of us in this room belong to this. Because if you give these children 600 naira, what are they going to ask you? What will they ask you? But they'll ask you, what should I do with 600 naira? And then I said it somewhere, and somebody said, we all made a mistake that the official rate is 400. I said, you are even making the situation worse. So which one is worse, 600 or 400? Whether it's 400 or 600, 69 million Nigerians are living below poverty level. So what are the implications of that? A review of the federal government revenue profile in the last decade showed that oil earnings make up 80% of our income. Now, what does that mean? That means that if there is a sneeze in the oil market, Nigerian economy sneezes. We know what's happening between Russia and Ukraine. That's what is affecting us. That's why the cost of bread has gone up, because Russia made sure that no wheat gets outside Ukraine. So, if we continue to look at oil, anytime there is a problem with oil, we have a problem. And then when we are making our budget, we make it on what? Oil. The price of the barrel. That's what we put our budget on. So when there's something wrong with the barrel of oil, there's something wrong with us. Also, what we need to begin to focus more on SMEs now and what they can do for wealth creation is that before we know, in our very eyes, cars will stop using oil, stop using fuel. Those cars are already existing. So we will not get anybody to buy our oil again. If they don't buy and we get refinery, maybe we go dey refine, they use them ourselves. Refinery, we no get. So in the absence of concerted efforts to shore up and widen the revenue base, there will be reduction in crude oil revenue and excess crude oil receipt savings in the coming years with grave macroeconomic implications. Therefore, what should we do? The normal thing is to jump up, to jump out of that boiling water when we can still jump, Abi? And that is why this conference is here. We still have the energy to jump out of that boiling pot. And one thing we can do to jump out is to begin to refocus on SMEs. Because we have a lot of resources, a lot of innovations lying down all over the place. I ask people, why do you think the Jinko will come and stay put in Nigeria? It's because they see gold on the floor of Nigeria and we Nigerians cannot see. True or false? Because while we are trying to do Andrews, they are coming and they are sitting down. And then when they start to see the gold we cannot see, they also bring their people to come and work for us. The ladies will know what I'm saying. When they destroyed the weave-on business, what were they doing? They were moving from shop to shop. Before, maybe Nigerians, we will stay there. Don't worry, they were moving from shop to shop and showing you. Don't worry, we will bring it to you, so they crash the price. Can we do that in other countries? No. So, the rational thing for us to do is to jump out of that boiling water when we still have the strength and the energy to do so. And that's why we are talking here today. That's why we've been here all morning. And so this shows us the role, the responsibilities of both the government, each and every one of us sitting down here, and the SMEs. The SMEs would elevate productivity, technology, and innovation. They will promote capital access, promote market access and internationalization. They will develop and promote entrepreneurship. But for that to happen, there has to be a revision in our rules, in our regulations. When those policies were made, Nigeria of then is different from Nigeria of today. So some of those policies, it will be difficult to implement them now. So we need to look at the current situation to revise those policies. We need to ensure that those policies are implemented and we have a monitoring instrument or body in place. Because human life is dynamic. We change very badly. And so if there is a monitoring group, say, oh, when this policy started, this was the situation. Now you cannot work like this anymore because times have changed. Then we can go back and review. Every policy is supposed to be revised every 5 years. All those policies, I have no idea the last time they were revised. So we need to strengthen fundamental enterprise, promote SME cluster, create high value added startups. So these are the roles, continuation of. So they will help to promote competition and a culture of entrepreneurship. Of SME sector in an economy will tell us how the GDP of that economy will be. SMEs will create jobs, which is a key dimension of the development process of a country. SMEs also have a favorable impact on income distribution because more entrepreneurs with limited financial resources and technical skills can get entry into the industrial sector through small enterprise operations. And if SMEs handle and process locally available raw materials, This will lessen the weight and volume of original raw materials that would have been imported, and then it makes it cheaper to produce. Also, the development of SMEs help the process of import substitution, and large farms may be able to get supply of components at a cheaper price from the SMEs. The subcontracts given to SMEs by large farms may reduce their production cost. SMEs can help us in wealth creation and distribution of the wealth, so that wealth is not concentrated in a particular place or within a particular group. Also, if we encourage SMEs to be more involved, it would improve the standard of living of people in the country. So what are the strategies for effective SME engagement? One, we need to provide business startup training, entrepreneurial skills, and mount a monitoring system to help in the running of small businesses. SMEs cannot run without human beings. And so the personnel building capacity of people running SME is important, is key. Also, we need to provide business advice, training, and finance to SMEs. We need to make provision of financing for growth and startups and provide financial assistance, interest rates. Sometimes when you look at bank loan and the interest of bank loans, you wonder who is going to access it. And that's why they form cooperative societies where they can access money with interest loan that they can cope with. Also, we need to improve business conditions, which should contribute to proper information, clear accounting standards, impartial legal system, favorable tax policies, and prompt payment of government debts. We have talked about a little bit of all this since we've been discussing this morning. We need to make the financial system more accessible to SMEs and expand the supply of finance through the non-financial private sector. Now, the best time to plant a tree, this is a Chinese proverb. So it's the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. But the next best time is now. We know that we are already in a crisis. So are we going to jump out of the boiling water and start to encourage SMEs and give them every opportunity to showcase what they have and support them? For as many of us that have influence, that can be an advocate for SMEs, are we ready to do that? Next slide. So in conclusion, we've looked at what SMEs are, what wealth creation is, why we are talking about them, and why we should continue to talk about them, because we are already in the boiling water situation, and we need to jump out where we can still afford to jump out. And one of the ways in jumping out is to encourage the SMEs to bring the conducive environment to function. And thank you very much.
I want us to have our rapid draw session whereby someone will be doing something on today. I'm calling calling someone from the audience to help me pick a number. You all came in, our first 40 guests, they had a number card, and so she's picking one of Number 10. Number 10. Okay, so I guess we have to pick someone else. Number 9. Okay, so we'll be going in for our lunch break now. And please don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel, Ominira TV on YouTube. And you can also follow us on all our social media platforms, Ominira HQ. Thank you. And go in.